The current podcast is sponsored by New Life Barber Lounge. New Life is not another barbershop. This is a place where you will find great energy and a friend in the New Life crew. This is a place all about the experience. They will take care of you and have you looking spectacular. Don't waste your time at any other place. Go right now and follow them on Instagram at New Life Barbers and get yourself looking spectacular.
Welcome to the current podcast. Thank you for joining us in another episode tonight. This is your producer, Byron. We got our co-producer, Mauricio, on the other side.
What's good? How you guys doing today?
Bro? We also got our producer. Sorry, guys, man. I'm just anxious, man, to get this going.
Right.
But we got Enzo in the building.
Yes, sir.
Bro, like that, call me a producer.
And then, unfortunately, we don't have Manny tonight, but we do have our guest, Troy Akin. Welcome, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Definitely,
How you doing?
man. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. It was a busy work day, and happy to be here.
Definitely cool.
Nice. What do you do, bro?
I started my own company called EcoSports, so we do like eco-friendly vegan sporting goods.
Oh, snap. That's different. What do you mean, like vegan?
Yeah, so my mission is to like replace leather in sports. Since I went
dope.
vegan a couple years ago, I tried to reduce the amount of animal products that I'm using in my day-to-day lifestyle. And being an athlete that I am, I was realizing, the basketballs, the baseball gloves, the tennis balls, they all use an animal product. And I was like, there's like, I'd like to not use this. And I couldn't find any like high quality products that also like align
like,
with.
let me fill the void.
Exactly.
Sick. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And
So it became a passion?
Yeah, definitely a passion project that I just kind of like started, I don't know, maybe a year ago. I had the idea, started sampling balls and with a, biodegradable vegan material. And about 6 months ago, we went live.
Oh, snap.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got any like angel investors and stuff like that, or just all like self-investment? Or...
Yeah, just self-investment. I'm actually trying to raise some money probably in the next couple months. I'll start asking around. But
Sick, bro.
yeah,
That's
just
what's up.
self-funded
That's
right now.
different, man. How old are you, bro?
29.
Damn,
Nice.
we're in the same. We're on the same age group. That's dope,
Yeah.
though, to see you do that, man. That's different too, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
yes, that's impactful. But
Especially since I feel like a lot of people are also going vegan like in the last like you could say decade. So I feel like more people would be interested in like hearing your side of the story as we go along with this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Even like the last 3 years since I've been fully vegan, the amount of vegans that I meet just grows every day.
that's great.
So not to put you on the spot, but Mauricio, did you have something to say before I go in and put him on the spot?
No, go ahead, bro. You do your thing.
Because it was crazy. I was watching this thing on it's called like Earn Your Leisure. I don't know if you heard of that. It's like another podcast where they talk about like diversity income and investments and all this type of stuff. But they had a episode where they were talking to this dude that was talking about alkaline and eating right, and he kind of broke down the different types of vegans. So I was like, what kind of vegan are you? Like, because from what I understood of him, there's like a junk food vegan that only eats like vegan food, but it's like fried stuff, but it's not like nutritional. It's not stuff that's gonna. And then there's like a plant based, which is the actual vegan that like, or he's the most healthy vegan. And then there's just people that just do it just to like don't want to eat nothing that hurts an animal, and then there's people that are like low key vegetarian, but they just use the vegan umbrella. And like it's like, I was like, whoa, like I didn't know it was that deep. Honestly,
Seriously.
so I was gonna ask you, like, do you categorize yourself in anything like that, or do you I'm just vegan, like?
Yeah, well, definitely. And don't forget about climate change over there, too.
Oh, snap.
Those people.
Right, there are some people that do that. Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, I started for health reasons.
okay.
Being an athlete, I wanted to increase my performance, my recovery, my sleep, all these different types of things. So I loved how I felt on it from an athletic standpoint. So that's why I kept pursuing it, kept doing more research. And then upon doing all that stuff, I started learning about the animal agriculture and the environmental impact and all those types of things. And so that is what I would say kept me vegan was those types of things. But I was a health first vegan.
Got you, for sure. That's informative, yeah, because I was like tripping when they said that there's guys that eat vegan food, but it's all like junk food. And I was like, really? Let me try to be that vegan.
Well,
I like junk food.
Deep fried everything.
Oh my God. Well, there's so many good vegan alternatives now, and like some of those mock meats that I'm not saying they're the healthiest option out there, but like there's
It's
like
better than eating like the or animal carcass and stuff like that, right? Like it's healthier than eating like because a lot of stuff is made out of beans, right? Like the burger stuff and stuff, or
Soybeans and stuff
yeah,
like that.
a lot of soy based products. Also, you could get like a black bean burger or something like that.
Interesting.
But yeah, I was reading this medical journal the other day it's called like the swap meat trial, and they compare the Impossible burgers and Beyond Burgers to like organic grass fed regular meat burgers, and even the Impossible for the fake burgers are still healthier and still have so many like better health factors for you than
right.
a red meat
I
burger.
definitely feel like in the next 100 to 50 years, the world's gonna have to by force go that route.
I'm 100% with you, and I think that's why EcoSports is a good route, because like the world has to change.
Just because the population,
Oh, it's
and
a
then
big
like
thing.
there's a certain demographic and a certain percentage of people that like myself and many other. I feel like America is like a big consumer of meats, just because of our culture and stuff like that. That in the next 50 and to 100 years, it's not gonna be sustainable to feed this amount of people with. Like if you can afford it, like I think in Japan you can't like cow meat and like certain meats is very expensive because they're
Scarce.
Yeah, it's like it's an island, so they mostly eat fish and stuff like that. Like, and I was just tripping out because I was like, really, like just a culture shock that I would have if I went to Japan. Like, what? There's no burgers
No,
here.
and I
Like-
think that's also where like GMOs were invented too, because of the scarcity of food. You know what I mean? Like these vegetables and fruits that are genetically modified, they're not organic, if you will. I think that's also goes along the same lines of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, keep going on your end.
No, and that's just I'm just trying
Nah,
to
that's
kind of.
dope, man.
I think it just kind of goes in the same lines. That's why I think that things were created, because they're so overpopulated in this earth, and that there has to be some kind of alternative. But I mean, me personally, man, I'm a huge meat person. But at the same time, as I get older, one thing that I fear just being on this podcast and everything is like having prostate cancer, because I know it's something that's so common among men and everything. So I've told myself at some point you might have to do this vegan route, because it's like it's just something that I feel like, again, I'm scared of going down the road, especially as you get older, and just being someone that I love meat the way I do. I don't know. Is that something that concerned you too at some point, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. And trust me, for 26 years of my life, I was double meat at Chipotle. The melted cheese first at Chipotle, and then the double meat. Like, you
damn.
guys know what I'm talking about. Like I've been there. Like fish was the hardest thing for me to give up. Like I loved it. So, but yeah, you learn about, especially like all these like the types of cancer, and like how a plant-based diet, like the whole foods plant-based diet is the best way to go. I don't stick 100% to that. I try and eat as many fruits and vegetables as I can.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, with the amount of fake meats that are out there, like you'll be able to find replacements for some of the meats that you like. And I think of it like this, as when back in the day, like horses versus cars, like horses used to be faster than cars back in the day.
Yeah.
But the cars got so much more technologically advanced, which these mock meats are going to be so good because they can do whatever they want to them, or the cow is going to be the same as it's always been.
But that's why I mean, not to like throw a wrench in your wheel, but I feel like do you think sometimes that's where I feel like we're messing with nature in its sense, not in the sense of like what we're eating, just the fact that we're like modifying foods and maybe we could adversely affect us down the line, or positively. I don't know. We're not there yet. I'm just saying like the pro and the con of something. Like
yeah,
because I've always like I don't know. I've just off the research that I've done off of like finding out what Monsanto's done to like certain stuff and like what they do to like fruits and stuff. Like, and this is just like we're trying to go a healthy route, but then we were finding out that pesticides and all this stuff is being sprayed on the good food. That now we're like, damn, should we just grow our own stuff then, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like that would be the best solution, but they don't really want us to do that. I mean, don't kill the messenger.
No, growing your own stuff is
It's like
that,
priceless, right?
I can't
Like-
wait to get a backyard and start growing my own.
Honestly,
spices
I started
and,
going that route recent. I just had a matter of fact, I just had a what do you call it? Physical today, and I was asking her about my diet, and I'm like, I got 3 kids now. I'm expecting my dad bod to have kicked in already. Still hasn't kicked in, and she's like, just eat more broccoli and like eat more protein, heavy, dense protein foods. And she said chicken and stuff like that. But then I'm all like, damn, I need to start eating broccoli. I've never tried that, just to put that in my diet and like try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I definitely got to try some vegan stuff because it's healthy. You know, I'm 31, and one thing my brother said that has crossed my mind, but I don't like to put that much emphasis as much as he's put in there because it is scary, bro. Like,
It's scary.
we're mortal.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more greens you can get, and they say like fiber, like you ask a vegan, where do you get your protein from? A vegan will ask a carnivore, where do you get your fiber from? Because that's something that you guys lack
I love
a lot.
beans,
I
man.
see.
And
That's
yeah,
one thing though. I do love beans, so I think isn't that a good source of fiber?
I think that is fiber. Yeah, yeah.
Iron,
like,
fiber,
yeah,
yeah.
like, beans is one
Yeah.
of my, like we're Salvadorans. Like that's like I think
It's in any meal you have.
yeah,
beans for
like
sure.
it's just beans. You just
Yeah,
get it, but
yeah.
I don't think red meat over there is not as common, right? Like it's a once in a week type thing.
Yeah, I mean,
'cause
it's
you can't
just
afford it.
It's
like,
just kind of like the same thing about affording things. But what I would have to ask you too is like you're talking about that your first 26 years of life, you were heavy on meat, double protein, and all that stuff. How was your transition from going to that to Did you do cold turkey? What was it that you did to transition?
Yeah, they actually say if you're gonna go plant based that you should ease yourself into it because if you do have that overload of
It's like a shock to your
fiber,
body.
yeah. Plus you kind of need to do plant based right. I mean, you could be an unhealthy regular diet and you could be unhealthy vegan. Like you still need to get the right nutrients in. And so I just read an article 3 years ago saying that it was a healthier lifestyle. So I was like, sure, let me give it a try 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, purely plant-based. Liked it, went 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So I was still easing my way. You know,
Wow.
weekends, I was having the breakfast burritos, the burgers at, Saturday night, the drunk munchies, all that type of stuff. And
drunk
then,
munchies.
yeah, after one super drunk weekend and had a billion burgers, I was like,
Hell
I
yeah.
feel so bad. I'm going
So
to...
you haven't cheated on that vegan lifestyle since.
So I think it's impossible to be like a perfect vegan. There are times when like
Sounds like a religion.
yeah. Well, yes, some people there is a lot
I mean, no,
of
yeah,
similarities
for sure.
to it.
No, it's just funny. It's just the irony
but-
is just funny.
Yeah, it's just hard like
It's like
somebody
you haven't sinned, have you?
yeah.
Are you gonna confess
Totally.
to us today?
Yeah, well, no, like somebody the other day, he like was kind enough to buy me a dinner, and I was like, "Hey, man, like that's so kind of you. I'll do the Impossible Burger with no cheese." The burger comes back with cheese on it, and so I like tried, to pick it off, but the cheese has already like been used and all that.
Melted
Well,
onto
yeah,
there,
so
yeah.
like I had a little bit of cheese on my burger that I
Yeah.
didn't want to
Did it
have on
affect
there.
you that night?
Yeah, I was actually pretty pleased, and I was curious how it was going to feel me because I really haven't had dairy in
minute, right?
3 years, and so I think that little bit didn't affect me. I will say about a year ago, I ordered a Beyond Burger at like a restaurant, and I'm pretty sure it was a real burger, and that messed up my stomach pretty good for the whole next day. I felt like I was able to like live my life, but like I was just
It
like,
was
oh,
bubble
what the
guts. You were like,
what's
oh,
going
damn.
on?
I
Yeah.
don't want to fart, but I'm farting. Like, damn, I know that.
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah. I definitely took a couple long bathroom breaks that day. Yeah.
Damn, so that's crazy. Once you change your diet, it's your pipes start getting a different type of piping. I mean, oil and pause, and then it's like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see what ends up based on your
What about
diet.
your poop? What color does it change to?
Bruh.
Yeah, it still varies depending on, I'm a big, those talky
So
guys.
I would just assume just because if maybe you eat more greens, it's gonna come out green. Or,
yeah, and like,
TMI,
I don't know,
man.
yeah, is this TMI that like, sometimes
I'm
it's a little
asking,
more
bro, it's all
runny?
good.
Yeah,
It's all-
yeah.
Just as people might be like, hey man, is my diet gonna change? Is my
Yeah.
poop gonna change? Do you
Yeah, it still depends on how much
green you're
protein I
eating?
eat, greens
Oh,
I
okay.
eat, like what it looks like. So mine still changes every day
Dope.
depending on
That's-
my
that's
diet.
what's
But
up, man.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
That's one of the things that I scared myself. Like I'm like, what if you eat more greens and you just like it's water? Or what if you're drinking like just
Yeah.
Like, I have people that like TK just used to one of our barbers I used to work with used to just juice every day, and lunch and breakfast. I saw him with 2 juices, and then I'm like, what are you gonna eat? Oh, I'm just drinking my juices, and I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's
You're
tough.
just gonna and remember he was a vegan for a cool minute.
Yeah.
And then one day, I think what made him break? Was it a burrito? Or he just something that he was like, I couldn't take it, bro. And I saw him in the back. But he was a vegan maybe for 4 or 3 years. Like he was hard. And then he would clown on us for being like, man. But then it was like a trip where, I think it was around COVID where he folded. COVID, I think, folded my boy, but but I know he has definitely a better lifestyle eating wise than me because I eat like shit, bro. So I definitely learning a lot right now. Like, what are one of the things that you recommend that you were like, damn, this is just as good as when I was eating the normal food, quote unquote.
Yeah, well, I'll just say, like, in general, like, take one of your favorite dishes and then just, like, either replace the meat with nothing or a fake meat and just start with the, like, one meal a week type of thing, replacing it. But also, like, have you heard of Monty's Burger? Or, like, it's the In-N-Out, but it's all vegan. And, they've got the
Really?
loaded fries with the melted cheese and the tots and the onions and the Thousand Island dressing that's all vegan. And so, I can still splurge on
Where's that at?
junk food.
Monty's?
It's over in Culver City.
Oh,
Okay.
it's a
There might be
drive.
a couple,
and that's the
but-
thing that's a trip
yeah.
about vegan spots that it's like it almost feels like every spot that you're gonna try is its own like
It's unique.
It's there's no like it hasn't gotten franchised like McDonald's or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the only thing that's franchisable, I think,
It's Whole Foods, I think.
Yeah.
well, not that, and then the Impossible Meat and the Beyond Meat, and those things have started going to like Carl's Jr. I started seeing them
Yeah.
and things like that.
KFC.
You
but-
can see them like like, even if you go to like
Grocery stores.
Cheesecake Factory, they have a Beyond Meat burger. I think they'll have it now too. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's a big demographic that they need to cater to now that are more conscious of what they're eating and stuff. But
Yeah, the plant-based demographic is just
it's-
skyrocketing.
It has gone up, man, and that's crazy that you found that niche and you're like, man, nobody's making gloves or nobody's making basketballs that are not leather. And how's that going? Searching for the material to make a basketball that feels like leather.
Yeah.
'Cause I definitely would want to buy a ball now. I play basketball all the time, so it'd be sick to buy one of your balls and be like, this feels just like a leather ball, but it's
Yeah,
not.
exactly. And that was the challenge because I sampled a lot of balls. And so I needed something that could compete with, the Wilsons and the Nikes. And I wanted
Spaldings,
it.
yeah.
And the Spaldings. And so definitely had to sample a couple balls.
Would you ever feel like you have this idea and pitch it to them and then maybe they buy you out or not even buy you out, but work with you or you guys partner up or something like that? Like,
Yeah, and I'm open to like kind of anything and everything on where EcoSports goes because I have a lot of like environmental ideas that I want to do in the future. So EcoSports is just kind of one of many, but it has combined my love of sports and veganism. So like I'm super grateful for it. And if it could take me on a journey for another 40 years, then that's awesome.
Sick.
But if somebody can take EcoSports to the next level better than I can, by all means would love to have that option.
that's dope, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And when you're going through your transition, you talked about how first you did like 3 days just pure plant based, and then you transitioned to 5 days, and then fully doing it. So do you think it's possible for someone to do that where it's just 3 days or 5 days, and then maybe just the weekends they have a tomahawk steak, Like, what do you think about something like that? Because I think that's the lifestyle I want to live.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to have a
That's a
burger
good
every day.
balance, I would
Hell
say.
no. But I for sure I could do. I feel like I could do
I
that,
damn near have a burger almost every day.
and then on the weekend have my steak.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can do that. The problem is once you start getting consistent of like 5 days a week and then you put that steak in your body, you kind of start to feel like ass afterwards and you're like, maybe
For
I
like 2
didn't
days,
need that steak. Yeah. And then, I crave tofu now. It's one of my like favorite things,
Really?
which, 3 years ago, tofu was the nastiest thing in the world. Like it's just this gooey, like soapy, spongy
Yeah.
nastiness. But when you learn how to cook it right, and like it's so good. Also, like something that I've loved on the vegan diet is just like I'm putting fuel in my body to perform at like the highest level and work at the highest level. And so now I like crave these lentils, these rices, these like positive foods so that I can perform well. And when I eat like shit, my athletic performance is shit, my work is shit. And so like I've kind of noticed that I start craving healthier food because I crave that higher lifestyle.
Got you. And what sports do you do that you're talking about?
Yeah, well, so tennis is my main sport. That's what I played in college. I still play like 3 or 4 days a week.
Gotcha.
I've gotten really into pickleball a lot lately. It's
Great.
super fun, especially at a high level.
It's blowing up right now.
Yeah, it's the fastest growing sport in the world.
Yeah.
And then I also played high school basketball. My dad played college
Nice.
ball, so like we're basketball family. 2 older brothers that played basketball. So like,
What college did your dad play
he,
play for?
he played at San Francisco State.
Okay,
cool.
Back in his day. Yeah,
Cool.
So he's still like he can still beat me in horse. That he's
So, yeah, he's
old
still
now.
got
You got the
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I feel like if a jump shot, if you don't, it's still gonna stay around as long as you just shoot. Even though you might not be as mobile anymore, but the jumper. I mean, you saw Obama still had a jump. I was like, whoa, Obama's 50. He's over here shooting.
Yeah.
I need to see Biden shoot it because I
Bruh.
definitely saw Trump shoot a
He's
toilet
gonna-
paper.
And Biden's gonna forget what ball he has in his hand.
Yeah.
I hate to say
Well,
it.
we'll take a picture with an EcoSports ball.
Exactly.
Right, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Exactly. As
No,
long as
but-
it's an EcoSports ball, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's dope though. But I just, even if you think you do 3 days, you'll still feel that heaviness, if you will, from your body.
Yeah, I don't know about 3 days a week, especially if you space it out like a Monday, Tuesday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday type of thing. But if you started maybe like Monday through Wednesday, then Thursday, once you start having cheeseburgers and, the McDonald's McGriddles
Yeah.
type, and like then it might, play
Yeah,
on you a little
definitely.
bit.
No,
But
and this is just coming from somewhere that like I've introduced vegetables a lot more into my diet. Like I've almost replaced my rice for vegetables because I see what you mean by it. Like the difference in your performance, because I'm not per se an athlete, but I do work out and I can feel my body's difference as far as its recovery, how I feel after a workout or even before a workout. If I feel sluggish going into one, or if I feel like better, it's usually because I've had a better meal revolved around vegetables rather than just like a cheeseburger or like just my rice with my meat and whatnot. Pause. Just like it sounded really weird when I said that. But
It's
besides,
making me think about this thing where I was watching Family Guy. Well, the thing I sent on the group where the guy's like, what's this guy's name? Brian? No, not
he's
Brian.
trying to turn on the lawnmower.
Yeah, he's trying to turn on the
Oh,
lawnmower,
with his
and then he's
dad.
like, "Can I switch the grip?" And then he switches the grip to the other direction, and he's like, "It's just more comfortable that way." Fucking Family Guy. Man.
I know, Family Guy never loses and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I guess me personally, I'm just trying to find a compromise where I could still have meat and still have the healthy lifestyle,
Pause,
but it's
pause.
like you can't.
See, vegans don't have that problem, man.
You know,
They don't
just
have that problem where they got to be like pause every 5 minutes when they say meat.
meat.
'cause
It's done. They've eliminated it, bro. It's not there anymore.
That's
They've
true.
replaced it as we're saying right now, so that's interesting. But tennis, you played that in college, you said. Was that something you did as a child too? Because I don't think you just picked it up in college, right?
Yeah, no, I played a little bit before, but like I said, we were a big basketball family. So, I mean, I think we had this conversation on the Safety Third
Yeah,
podcast
yeah, I
about
think
what
so.
I think is the most athletic sport, and I think that's basketball. And I think it translates to so many sports. The cardio, but also the footwork and the hand-eye coordination. Like, there's just so many different types of things that translates. So I picked up tennis a little later in life. Like, yeah, I played over summers as a kid, but I really started like training when I was like 15, 16 years old.
Got it.
I feel like that's still a good age to pick up a sport and really about like 5 years in, 20, you if you're really serious, you can
You can master it at some point.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
Yeah, like I could hit, I could hang. You know, I was varsity as a freshman still, but you know, like
Wow.
these good kids that are playing at Stanford and USC, like they're number one. They don't even play on their high school team to say they just
Yeah.
like play tournaments all year round, and then
Pretty
they go to
much.
college.
True.
So it's still good, but then like really took my game to like my junior and senior year, took it kind of to the next level, and then I actually went to a city college for 2 years and really took my game to the next level. Luckily, I had a coach that played at Duke, so he took it seriously, so I just got so much better.
That's great.
And then I ended up playing one at Chapman University, and I played a bunch of guys that were high level D1 athletes, and they went down to like kind of our conference, which was a little lower tier.
Yeah, yeah.
And because they didn't want all like the pressure of D1 and working out every 6 a.m. workout.
Yeah.
So I was playing against these guys that were sick, and I was losing a lot, but like I got so much better at tennis. And it
Yeah,
was
those
so
first couple
fun.
years. That's
yeah.
great, man.
Yeah, I
That's
tried to
dope.
pick up tennis a few years ago. I still got my racket and everything, but damn, it's
It's
a workout, bro.
It's a serious workout, especially
at
going
tennis.
back and forth
I would like
that.
to do pickle now because it's smaller court.
Smaller court.
Yeah, I like the level of entry better at pickleball.
Right?
It's a little easier.
Right.
But once you get high level people, it's still so
It's
fun.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. I seen Gabe go at it. I'm like, yo, bro.
Yeah, that guy's fast. Gabe is no joke when it comes to that.
Oh, that guy. is
Yeah, I know. I
serious.
wanna see how good he is. I'm like a 5-0 pickleball player, so I don't know if you know what that means, but
Not really.
yeah, it's like 2 steps below like playing pro. I'm not
Right,
like
'cause
I wouldn't
he's
be a
pro.
good
I think-
pro.
yeah, he's pro.
Yeah.
He's pro, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like ranked number 3 or 4 in the world or something like that.
Dang.
I think something like that.
He
He's
got up
he's,
there,
he's
damn.
something like that
Yeah.
from what I've heard him. I could be wrong, so Gabe, if you're hearing this, my bad. if I'm hyping you up a little bit, but you the man. But at the same time, with basketball and being a basketball family, do you guys have a
Hold up, Kobe or Jordan? Don't say a lot about that family.
Well, I feel the pressure of
Right.
that's how
I was
Kobe
like-
posters here.
I was like, Kobe or Jordan, Kobe or Jordan. I know that we don't have
Yeah.
no Jordan here. I gotta get you a Jordan, bro.
I
Yeah.
know.
Jordan
give me something rookie Jordan? That's what I want.
That's gonna be costly. I'll definitely
Yeah.
try to make you something. Jordan.
I mean, would you guys not take Jordan in the overall?
I saw this thing where I agree with Draymond Green recently, where he said that there's different GOATs because you can't compare like you can't say LeBron and Jordan because they never got to play against each
Yeah.
other. And LeBron definitely has revolutionized basketball to a different, like, if Jordan took it here, LeBron just barely took it 2 inches higher just because it's like it's LeBron and like, but
But you guys would put LeBron in the GOAT conversation.
yeah, but I would also like, to me, I get bothered because
I would have to
they
say,
overlook
though,
Kobe.
I would have to say though, when you're talking about the overall grand scheme of things, I still have to put Jordan there because without a Jordan, we don't get Kobe.
Yeah, but without Julius Erving, we don't get Jordan, and we weren't alive to see that guy. So it's like my son is like 4 years old, but he's seeing Steph Curry like because he's watching me.
See, but Julius Erving to me is the same size as LeBron James, right? They were both like forwards, right?
6'8",
6'7", 6'9".
not
Kobe
6'9".
and Michael Jordan were the first like smaller guards to really like.
Well, it's because
elevated
you
to
got
what
to
they
understand
did.
what the league was in those. It was a big man's league, and he was the guy that's why Jordan was like seen
Pick
as
number
that.
3 too, right? He wasn't picked
Right,
one
there
or
were
two.
the first two or two
Sam
big
Bowie
guys.
and the other dude,
So that's why. But
and Hakeem Olajuwon, yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Magic Johnson before him, Larry Bird.
But these are all guys that are tall as fuck too, though. 6'9", Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, I think was also 6'9". You know, so I just feel like Michael Jordan just. Again, he inspired so many athletes.
To me, honestly, if we're gonna say who like, it's kind of like just because of height and like he's more closer to our height, it would be Steph Curry and like Allen Iverson.
Steph Curry definitely. I look. One thing is, would you guys agree with
I
these?
think-
Just because you guys play basketball more than I do, would you guys say that Steph Curry more messed up the game of basketball than improved it?
I don't think he messed. I feel like maybe. Nah, bro. I think it's like if you can't shoot that like far, it's because you suck and you gotta work at it.
What do
Like,
you think,
I suck
Troy?
at shooting 3, so that just gives me that thing where I before I get old, I gotta get better at my threes. Like Jason Kidd did it, so I could do it. That's
Yeah,
how
I mean, I wish I had Steph Curry in the NBA
Range.
because he was like just getting in the pro when I was playing high school, and so like
Wow.
I was a 3-point shooter myself, and so like
Really?
I'd get in trouble if I
Right.
went 3 for 8, which was like not that bad, but like coach is like you're taking too many threes,
shots.
and it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It
all
would
right,
have been
like-
a different game for him. That like they
But-
would have let him shoot these
Yeah.
shots, and like because I could agree with you on that. I was the secret weapon on my JV team, and I remember this one game where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna put you in or whatever," and then I only got in 2 possessions. I made 2 threes, and it was my corner shots were. That's my 3. I could still make those shots to this day. It's the easiest 3 to make too, but. Man, Steph Curry does some stuff where he just turns around, keeps
The reason I
walking, and,
ask
like,
this because it's like you have younger people coming up and they see that and they almost forget the rest of the fundamentals of the game because they just want to chuck it up from beyond the 3-point line. You know what I mean? So that's where I ask you if he's really helped or hurt the game. You know, when we're talking about someone that's coming up and seeing that, it's like, oh, that's what I want to be. But like you see Kobe and Jordan,
But
and it's
they said
like
Kobe
I
had
want to
hurt
be
the game, remember?
I want to be able to do a turnaround jumper. But that at the same time, like it
Bro,
requires.
Remember how that you're still 29, so you remember when they were calling Kobe a ball hog.
yeah.
You even remember that.
Yeah.
Well,
So
to
that
be
was
fair,
hurting
he
the game.
was, but to win games,
Right.
Yeah.
But then it's
not saying it
also
was
like-
a bad thing, but he was.
Yeah.
But there was like, if you talk to an older generation, there was a 7-year span where Jordan was named that also. A rookie year, he had 63 on the Boston Celtics with like 5 assists.
Yeah, and it took Phil Jackson for him, as we see in the last
To
dance.
start
for him
with
to be
Scottie
like,
Pippen and
we
then start
have to-
passing the ball and like
Mhm.
trusting your teammates and all that. So it's like, I mean, but So who's your favorite overall player then? If it's like
Steph and LeBron. I mean, I've loved LeBron for the last 10, 12 years and just like love the way that he plays the game. But Steph, like, because I grew up in the Bay Area, but I didn't love
06, so that's
the-
for sure gonna be
yeah,
Steph Curry.
yeah. So I didn't love the Warriors growing up. They just sucked, so it was hard to root for.
But
And then,
honestly, I like the Warriors back in those days because of
Baron
I saw.
Davis.
I mean, bro. They had so many good point guards that
Man.
just
Jason
didn't get the.
Richardson.
That's a shooting guard, but they
Monte
had
Ellis, yeah.
Monte
Yeah,
Ellis.
yeah.
They had Baron
Mm.
Davis. They had what's that other dude's name?
Michael Dunleavy. I'm just kidding.
No, he was actually a good shooter, bro.
Yeah.
He was actually a good shooter. I just like their team was like good. Like I remember when they beat the Dallas
The
Mavericks.
We
and
Believe
yeah,
Warriors.
bro,
Yeah,
that was a
yeah.
good ass like little series that I remember watching, and nobody believed in this team. So it's like the Warriors have definitely come a long way.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
And just watching Steph Curry yesterday, bro,
He's
and
so
he-
fun to watch.
5 for 10 yesterday.
That dude, that's the one thing that on his career that he needs to get in the
Finals
finals.
MVP?
He needs to get Finals MVP.
and that's what this is. This year, this is why I'm gonna say this. This year is gonna be his year for finals.
I had
MVP.
since
Yeah.
this final start. I mean, the playoff started. I called Boston and the Warriors. I obviously I'm a Laker fan. I don't want Boston to win, but they just have kind of we're talking during Sports Wave. Like they just managed to keep their team young, but with good talent young. You know what I mean? Not just like kind of going through the draft young. Like
And slowly building that experience as well.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Marcus Smart. That core that they've made
Marcus
there.
Smart is the guy that's been there the longest. So he was drafted like in
Yeah.
14 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
but it's just crazy how like they've been able to build through the draft, like we were talking about, and just get to this point. But at the same time, I see that Heat, Boston Celtics series going 7 games. I think there's still a lot to be played there.
Do you like watching basketball still?
Yeah, I do. I've been super invested in these playoffs, and
How would you feel about Luca?
I think he's a joy to watch.
I think he's gonna be an
Um,
all-time great.
yeah.
I think it's still young. It's early as hell to say that, but
I
I
just
think
hope he doesn't get a back injury or nothing like that. Cause
Yeah. What,
He
from
sometimes-
carrying the Mavs?
yeah, well, not only that, cause that is a heavy burden, bro.
oh man,
Like, bro, look what it did to Dirk.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
him by himself. Who was his co-star really?
Jason Kidd in that championship.
Bro,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
it.
that was a washed Jason Kidd. That,
It
like I
was.
said, he had to get a 3-point shot to even get.
Honestly, that series. Now that I think about it, Jason Terry was the shit, bro, in that team, bro.
Yeah, but even him, like, nah.
I'm not saying
JJ
that.
Barea.
Not saying that he was like that.
I would say
person.
JJ
It was a
Barea was
collective
more-
bar. It was a collective.
But it was like
a
all
good
built
team.
around Dirk.
True.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
that guy
true.
carried that team for 20 years, bro.
Mhm.
Man, Luca,
They need to give him something.
they gotta get him some help. I feel bad they let that other dude go, but I think definitely Steph Curry is the best shooter of all
So
time.
you don't think Dinwiddie is enough?
Nah, not at
He's
all.
a good role player, but not to be the guy to like average 25 a game. And
Mm.
In your opinion, who's the next all-time great that you see right now?
I love Ja.
Yep.
He's so fun to watch.
who does he remind you
Um,
of?
The opposite of like Steph Curry has like what he can do shooting. Ja can do like
Dunking,
driving.
dunking
all
and
that shit,
driving and
yeah.
playmaking.
Like he to me, he reminds me so much of Allen Iverson.
I'll say that too.
Yeah.
Like
Just in a bigger body, in a sense.
yeah, but like and more explosive when he goes up. But like the carry with the ball, it's like, but it's so shifty that that's why it doesn't get called because it's like a hesitation carry and then boom, and like the next move is like I'm at the lane, I'm at the layup or dunk or whatever. I get scared of him because I don't want him to get Derrick Rosed.
Mm.
Like that's how
Yeah.
explosive he is. That it's
Yeah.
like
Can the body hold up?
right.
Maybe he needs to go plant based.
Ah,
real talk. I mean-
EcoSports. Shout out to EcoSports.
How do you feel about Canelo announcing that he went plant based for this last fight and then that he lost?
It hurts.
Do you think that it
the
was
Mexican tacos, bro.
do you think that it was that or do you think that it was just the lack of performance or the lack of what's the word I just had it on my word
Preparation.
yeah lack of preparation for his opponent.
Yeah, it could have been both. I mean, if he did the plant based like kind of right before and shifted up some serious things and it kind of messed with him and didn't do the plant based right and get the proper protein and nutrients and everything in, then that certainly could have messed with him out there.
Do you think it's possible too? Because he went up in weight.
Yeah.
Going plant based kind of. I don't know if that affects it at all. You know, if you're trying to gain weight.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Opposed to
it's
losing
possible
weight?
because you stop eating like proteins, and then you put all this like or start eating more bread or other like potatoes or filler food, and you can put on weight doing it.
Doesn't mean
but-
it's gonna be muscle, right?
Right. So could have been a bit of both. I mean, there's still like Novak Djokovic or Chris Paul, so there's still these like elite level athletes that are plant based that.
Oh no doubt. There's a lot of them that I was. There's a documentary on there, isn't it?
The Game Changers.
Is that what it was? Where they
Yeah.
talk about like the guys that lift weights, like the pro lift. What's it called? Lift weighters.
Bodybuilders.
Pro builders that just eat, and then they're comparing them to gorillas and how they plant based.
Gorillas are plant based. Yeah.
I'm reading right now that Nate Diaz in the UFC has been vegan since he was 18.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
So Stockton
I
zone.
know
up-
John
Yeah.
Sally. John Sally's a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been to was it Kale My Name?
No, I have not.
Also,
That's a
Cafe
vegan.
Organics in San Bernardino.
Okay.
Yeah. That Kale My Name is a vegan spot next to my barber shop, and then that Cafe Organics is John Sally's spot, right? Is it?
Cafe Organics, yeah. That's
Yeah.
John's place.
Yeah.
And that's so definitely have to hit those spots up. Kale My Name is just kind of pricey. It's like the bougie vegan spot.
Yeah. Sometimes they do that to you.
That's one thing that John Sally was telling me. He's like, he wants to push that affordable vegan because he's seeing that people are taking advantage of labeling something vegan and then hiking it up a little bit. Like, it's almost like he said it's like they're gentrifying food.
Yeah,
I was
yes,
like-
I agree that they do. Like, you go out to eat and eat vegan, it can be expensive, but
They charge you more for it, right? Like, it's like, why? If it's
yeah, which seems crazy that like I'm having this fake meat is more expensive than like raising a cow, feeding it for 2 years, and then putting it through
slaughtering
a
it,
slaughterhouse,
yeah.
and then transporting it over, and like that's more expensive than.
Would you say because it's right now it's being seen more as a delicacy, if you will, more than it's like it's gonna be cheaper than
the
that?
irony.
I that's the only because it's also I see these memes on IG all the time where it's like you go to McDonald's and a salad is like $7 and a cheeseburger is $1.
Right.
So it's like, is it just because healthier food is more expensive, or I mean, just your opinion on that?
I think it's the demand. I think once the demand for these Impossible Burgers are higher than regular burgers, the prices will come down just because it's so much cheaper to build in bulk, as I know from buying basketballs. But
Damn, so I could go to a website and buy a basketball then.
you certainly could. EcoSports.com.
Oh, snap.
Dope.
Yeah.
pull that up right
might
now.
have to do that and do a curbside pickup.
Yeah, swing by anytime.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yo, bro, I just placed an order. Did you get that? I'm coming tomorrow. I'm just kidding. I got a game. That's
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
How does that work actually? If someone wants to order a ball, like, do they? It's just online, or are you guys in stores yet, or how is that? How are you getting? What's your plan for that, or what's happening right now?
Yeah, so right now we're just on Amazon and my Shopify account, so ecosports.com. So
Nice.
if I really ship majority of my balls into Amazon, and then I have like a stash at home and a friend's warehouse I keep some inventory at.
Yeah.
But if you were to order it on my website, I would just go to Amazon and say, hey, ship it to this guy over here,
Sick.
and it'll be there in 2 to 4 days.
Damn,
Got
what
it.
is that? What is that? There's a term for that, right?
Yeah.
Drop shipping type of thing.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of in
like-
a sense.
But for your own company, that's what's smart about
Right,
it. You're
right,
not
right.
doing
So-
it for like other third party that you're buying like stuff and then being like, that's kind of genius.
Yeah, exactly. I always wanted to have my own brand too when I started a company.
See, I have
like,
to.
yeah.
Off air, we'd have a talk.
Yeah, yeah, would love that. But
That's
I
interesting.
definitely want to get into retail. So that's I think the next step, and I think raising money will help us get into the Dick's, the Targets, the WalMarts, those kind of places.
Yeah, that'd be dope to walk into a Target and be like, I had the owner of EcoSports on my podcast.
Yeah, yeah, get them early.
To be honest,
Exactly.
yeah, bro. To be honest, I feel like we do have you early because you could find the right investor and the right, I mean, have you tried even going to Shark Tank or something like that?
Yeah, I do get that a lot, and I would love to do that. I think Mark Cuban would obviously be a great. Any of them would be great, but Mark
great
Cuban.
pitch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
have
I
the
mean,
basketball.
owner of a team. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, shit.
So that would be super awesome. I was actually talking to this one company. They wanted just like marketing materials, so they just put their logo on top of our balls for their company gift type of thing.
Right.
And he was like, if we like these balls, like the owner of this company is like a part owner in the Utah Jazz, so like we'll introduce you if you
Yeah.
can get us the product you promise. I was like, all right.
And I'm gonna see if I link
Yeah.
you with John Sally.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. I saw him.
He's vegan, and you know, I cut his hair and once a week. So then I'm definitely sure. I'm more than positive he'd be like, "Oh, vegan basketballs? What?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super cool. I saw him talking to Kevin Durant on some video about how plant-based diet's going to be like the next big thing for these athletes.
Yeah,
Yep.
he shames me whenever I see him eating other shit.
Every time he
Yeah.
comes in the shop, and like I'm guilty for having McDonald's a lot, and I'll have like McDonald's pancakes or something. And that's usually the time I'm cutting his hair in the morning. He's like, "Man, you got this shit here again?" One time he tossed my orange juice and put a whole green juice in my drink.
Oh,
I was just
yeah.
like,
That's
"Whoa,
awesome. Good
bro,
for him."
What are you doing?"
Right?
Yeah.
And then another time, like he made me drink this other green juice. He's like, "Drink it. I'm not gonna sit in a chair till you drink it." And I was just like, "Bro, what are you doing to me? You holding me hostage?" I got another client. He's like, "Drink it, Enzo." And I was just
And
like,
he's tall as fuck. too,
right.
so
So it's like
like,
kind of intimidating at that
Enzo.
point. And I was like, bro, I gagged on it. I was like,
He's just
and
looking
like,
out for you.
I know, but it was just like the pressure, man.
peer pressure. Drink that shit.
I was like, "You're
Oh,
giving me
man.
poison."
That's funny. But I gotta ask you too. This is kind of a personal question, but it's gonna lead to something else. Are you with somebody?
Yes. I
Okay.
am.
Did they join you on this vegan journey? Were they already on this vegan journey? How did that work out?
Yeah, she was not. She was super.
You didn't convert her
I did convert her.
eventually.
I'd say she's 99.9% plant based. Like if she's with family or grandparents that like
She'll break it.
she'll do something for serious
make it normal
reasons.
for,
Yeah, but most of her life or day to day now is 100% plant based.
Dope.
And it makes the dating way easier dating
Way,
someone
I bet.
plant based.
I bet. 'Cause
Yeah.
If not, you'd have to go to like a certain restaurant where you can satisfy both stomachs and everything. But how did you kind of transition her, or how did you convince her? Were you like, it's make or break? We're gonna break up if you don't if you don't change.
Maybe he was just better in bed, and that's what happened. Like, oh my god,
He's like, I got more energy now.
Well, watch the Game Changers.
Yeah,
They
that's what I
deal
heard
with the
about
college
that.
athletes and they like test their semen levels and
Yeah.
they're better. They get more erections on a
yeah,
plant-based diet.
that's why I said it. 'Cause
um,
that's what I heard that happens. Like you go, it's something about the greasy foods messing with your piping system or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because watch the Game Changers.
Right,
I
right.
recommend it.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to get too personal. I was fucking.
But yeah, no, she was super interested in health and nutrition. She was also a college athlete herself, and
Wow.
like she also had a couple like an autoimmune disease that she had to deal with a couple years ago.
What sport did she play?
She played tennis as
Tennis.
well too.
Cool.
Yeah, so we play a lot together, which is super fun.
Cool.
Who wins?
Well, I won the last couple matches.
Okay.
She has beaten me before,
Oh
but
snap! And is that when you probably had like not a good diet that day, or
yeah, I think I accidentally ate a real burger or something. No, I'm just kidding. No, she if she's playing good and on and steps into the ball, like she can hang no problem. But she also took like a
Do you think it's that mental game then in that aspect? Because if she's good and she can beat you sometimes, like when her head is like in the game.
Oh,
and then some days it's like I'll let you take the win.
yeah, totally. Well, I think like tennis and golf is like why those things are so mental. Also because it's such an individual sport.
Right.
Whereas
Yeah.
like if I'm having a bad day, I can't rely on Klay Thompson to pick up the slack. Like it's all on you. So.
Facts.
Yeah,
Yeah. Poor
she's got a
Luka.
crazy work schedule and just like so when I force her out on the court, like if she's stressed at work, you can see it in the tennis.
She hasn't figured out a way to be like, let me decompress by using tennis.
Yeah,
See, that's what
correct.
I love about us, man. We figure out the way to use sport to decompress from whatever's going on outside of whatever's going on. Like
Yeah.
I love that, man. I love that about sports and men.
But yeah,
Yeah.
did she follow in your footsteps, or did you convince her? How did that work out?
Yeah, it was not a hard convincing. She was down to give it a try, and I think she's felt great on it. She lost weight on it, which she wanted to. I also lost weight when I first went vegan that I didn't want to, or mean to. I didn't care really, but
Roughly, how
but
many pounds
did.
did you say you lost?
I was about 145 and I dropped down to about 138 ish
Okay.
when I was like on my first time going vegan. And I just stopped eating meat, so I didn't replace it with anything. So I was just eating a lot less, and I didn't know what to eat either. So just like I lost a bunch of weight on
And
it.
now, have you replenished that
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this new year, my goal, I'll get back to convincing her, but
sure.
my New Year's resolution was to put on muscle and weight, which like I wanted to prove to myself that I could do that on a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
So I went from about 145 and now I'm around 160, 162 now. And
Shit.
like my body looks as good as it ever has. You know, I'm lifting as heavy as I ever have. And like I feel great and very excited. And I've been getting about 120 grams of protein a day was my thing.
And do you do protein shakes, or is just straightly through, like nuts and like different things that you can get protein from?
Yeah, I do protein shakes. I also do a lot of tempeh, tofu, seitan, or the mock meats.
Okay.
Have a lot of protein. I've been doing less mock meats now that I've fallen in love with tempeh and tofu. But I mean, I think you can get plenty of proteins on just vegetables and nuts and fruits. But
yeah,
I
it's
just
hard, not as
to try and build. Like I think you can live a healthy lifestyle doing that. But if I wanted to, build all that muscle, and,
it's hard.
yeah, just gotta have the protein.
Yeah. So just transitioning her, how was that? Do you feel like you were a good example?
Yeah, I was a good example. It also helped having someone that had already done it for 2 years, so she's kind of like on her year
Oh, so
mark.
it's 2 years from when you had done it to when she started.
Yeah,
to,
so
okay.
I met her about a little over a year ago, and
Okay.
so she's been plant-based pretty much ever since that. And so
Yeah, that was in media. Huh?
yeah, so
Great.
You're very influential.
yeah, I think I also came from her from like a health kind of factual standpoint of like why this is a better way to go, and she just gave it a try. Was also just a nice person and kind of knew her in our relationship. Like, yeah, great. I can eat plant-based. It didn't bother her. And then she grew to love it, and now she's a
crazy.
sucker for it.
Yeah, that was.
Dang. So maybe if I become vegan, I'll have a smaller pool of like a smaller dating pool because there's not as many vegans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm my girlfriend is a gift. I'm a huge fan. But if for whatever reason something did happen, like I would try and go after another vegan person.
You might have to introduce me to a vegan friend of yours.
Yeah. I know. I've been beating a bunch of them, especially when you start going to like, these like vegan exchange LA is like, they have 12 food trucks that are all vegan and like it's a big party and they have these like communities that are all vegan based. You start going, you're meeting more vegans and it's like this whole cool community and it's great.
Dope.
Might have to check this out, man.
I have a quick question for you, Troy.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to like your vegan diet and everything, have you also like you can say convinced anybody in your family or inspired anybody else in your family to become like join that vegan diet or journey along with you?
Yeah, that's actually a sensitive topic because my girlfriend, Alex, her parents have transitioned much better into a vegan lifestyle and support it better than my parents have. But no, my mom and dad would probably listen to this, and they've done awesome. They're probably 98% plant-based, but when I go home, they're 100% plant-based, and they try their best to eat more plant-based, and they've been listening to all the podcasts, and I'll make them watch the documentaries about the climate and animal agriculture stuff, and so they do a pretty good job. But they're 65 years old, so they're a little more set in their ways. But they're coming around. And I just fun fact. On the way up here, I was listening to a podcast that was saying that you're 73% less likely to get like severe to moderate COVID on a plant-based diet than if you eat meat.
No, and that's true. And that's something that I feel like it's not emphasized on the media and all that stuff to simply just eat more fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
It's all about just, masking up. And I don't want to make this political at all.
Oh,
but
no,
it's all
we're gonna
about
make it politically
it's
correct.
all about, those things instead of thinking exercising,
Fight the power.
getting appropriate sunlight a day, I feel, and eating your vegetables because like I said, prior to the pandemic, I was working out more, started doing more vegetables in my diet. And then the pandemic hit, and I'm like, I got to do this more because my body has to be able to combat this stuff. So, yeah, I agree that just even introducing vegetables into your diet can help you combat just about anything. But if you go fully vegan, I would imagine it's like the iron suit, you're wearing and shit.
Yeah, absolutely. They were talking about like the microbiomes in your gut, like just on the fiber, and like if the more fiber you get, the better chance you have of fighting COVID. It's just like 73% less likely to get COVID.
I also heard about that with people that smoke weed.
People that smoke weed.
Plant-based.
Plant-based.
Touche.
It's all connected. Yeah. Man, that's interesting though. But now that we're at this point with EcoSports, we do basketballs. But what else? What other sports are you into as far as manufacturing their balls and all that stuff?
Yeah, so we also have soccer balls and volleyballs.
Okay.
Soccer balls are my second best seller. Volleyballs are starting to pick up, which I just think is summer related because we have beach volleyballs. And so that's been exciting because I released them in December. And so they were just slow. And I was like, is this going to be a bad product that I'm just going to have a bunch of inventory I can't get rid of? So I'm super happy they're starting to sell. But we just found R&D'd a baseball glove that I'm super happy with.
Wow.
Because I also think that's kind of the most leather intensive product out of all
What
of
about
them.
footballs? Like
Footballs, yes, we just ordered 1,500 footballs, so those should be here
That's crazy.
actually in
You see
like
the basketball, bro?
15 days. Yeah, I think you can even pre-order a football.
Sick.
Yeah.
Imagine one day it says NBA, bro.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. The Wilson has like a 10-year contract, so I'm hoping in 10 years I'll be ready for the NBA.
What have you thought about before that 10-year contract is up? Have you thought about like overseas type of things, or maybe like things like the big three, other leagues that are out there?
Yeah, totally. I actually think the WNBA would be a really cool place to go, especially because they're trying to create so much change in their world and demographic. I think that a lot of our values and morals would align.
They would definitely be a pioneer of this if they were to push that.
Yeah, totally. And I think women's sports is going to be a booming industry in 20 years. Like, just girls just simply were not allowed to play sports back in the day.
Yeah.
And now that they are, like, they're going to get so much better at their respective sport, but there's also going to be so many more females
It's
playing,
crazy
playing
because
sports.
again, I'm a big UFC athlete. I mean, fan athlete.
Oh, we're speaking
Wow.
You and Nate Diaz, buddies?
Yes!
Yeah.
Early
Yeah.
making this into existence. I
Already
see.
in the episode.
Exactly. But what I'm
Whoa,
trying to say is
buddy.
that like Dana White said for the longest that women would never compete in the
You're gonna
UFC.
have a what?
He said that at the beginning that women would never compete in the UFC, and now they're
What a sexist comment.
There's now some of the
need
most
to cancel Dana White.
entertaining fights I watch.
Where's
It's
the
too-
cancel button on Dana White?
Hey man, but then he brought
just
in Ronda
kidding, man.
Rousey, and she was one of the
kidding,
biggest
I know
stars.
that.
No, yeah, but he ate his words basically.
Yeah,
and
and she
it's-
brings in massive bucks for them, or used to.
Yeah, used to, and even now she's just a big name for them. And then other female athletes that have came up and whatnot, and I think it's just incredible what you're saying. In 20 years, it's gonna be even bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm looking at the footballs right here, and I don't think last time you came there. I don't know if you had footballs.
I did
yet.
not have footballs.
great.
Yeah, but now I have a couple. I should have brought one. I might even have one in the car.
Let me
But
see the price on a basketball. What, bro?
yeah, we got all three sizes.
You even got a like NBA size one?
Yeah, we got men's, kids, women's.
Men's right here.
Yeah,
Sick. I might have to place some.
or you could just buy in bulk. Trying to work with someone right now who's trying to buy 100 from me right now. Be a nice little day.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, in that you just kind of target like traveling leagues or things like that, and
Mhm.
Hold
It's a
on,
good way
that's
to start.
300 for how many balls?
100 or 10 plus.
Yeah, so that'd be $30 a ball if you order in bulk.
Uh,
But yeah, we just signed a couple contracts with some camps that we're really excited about. One in San Francisco, one in Lake Tahoe. So
Cool.
distribute a couple hundred balls out there, and put their logo on our balls, and
Sick. Also, they're gonna put their logo on that ball.
yeah. So like basically on the other side, I think if
So
you
if
just
I
hover
order
over
a
one,
ball-
like right here, we'll just put like the Olympic Club right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You'll along with EcoSports.
Yeah, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
back on the other side, it'll look like that
Yeah.
middle ball.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
So,
So,
we'll
if I ordered a ball, would that be done or no? It's just if you order in bulk.
it would have to be a custom order because I need time to like get it print the label printed on it and everything.
That would be
So
sick.
I know I need to figure out how I get like a label maker at like my house so that I can have someone just order a custom design type of thing.
Right. That'd be
Crazy.
sick,
But
bro.
it just gets kind of expensive and time consuming to do the
definitely, yeah.
individual
True.
ball. But yeah, this is what if you just ordered one, you'd get this guy.
Nice.
amazing.
And these are like indoor, outdoor, or just indoor? Or
Yeah,
outdoor?
so they're meant for indoor, and I just label them as an indoor ball. I've been really happy with their outdoor performance. I just
Because
when-
maybe the fact that leather balls don't last outside is because they're made out of leather, right?
Yeah, the leather's tough outside, and because it's kind of the TPU material that is biodegradable and sustainable. It's kind of like a mix between kind of a rubber and plastic, but it's made from all like plant-based materials, and so it does do pretty good outside, and it's very weather resistant and sweat resistant, water resistant. So it's like a pretty good outdoor material. It just we'd kind of design it for indoors to hold up better. But
Sick. No,
I've been
then I've
tearing
been-
my ball up outside.
All
And
I've been doing is playing indoor, so that's,
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice to have a new indoor basketball. But I was gonna also ask you, since you play basketball, do you already compare the material to like the, let's say, the Wilsons, and like, do you feel like I'm there, I'm competing with the big dogs, I just don't have the notoriety of the big dogs yet?
yeah, well, I think that Wilson Evolution ball is just the best in the business. So that's kind of what I wanted my ball to be as close to as I could.
Mm-hmm.
I would say we're like just one step below that, like kind of that Spalding TF 1000 or kind of those Nike
That's
balls.
a good ball though.
Yeah, so
I like that
I
TF
would-
1000 ball.
I agree that I think we played a lot with that in high school too.
Yeah,
but
bro,
it
like,
was
that's
so-
actually the official high school basketball, I think.
okay, yeah, and
If not the Wilson now, but when I was in high school, that was the ball we were practicing.
Yeah.
in.
And that's where, like, I think high school would be another cool place to go, especially like a lot of these high schools are, trying to care about the environment, preach like.
And that's
You
what
know.
I'm saying. That's what I was gonna ask you next. Have you tried pitching it to like LAUSD or maybe even like?
Yeah, I need to follow up with them. Thanks for reminding me. But I sent a
Nice.
couple balls to the LA just county like Parks and Rec division.
Oh, that's a good
And
one.
so so they sampled them. I actually sent them my first ball that I got, and it wasn't as good as my version 2 ball.
Mm-hmm.
And so they like kind of gave me some notes and feedback on it, and I came back to them with a version 2 ball. And so I just need to follow up with them on them. But they're interested in the product too. It just
Nice.
like we were saying earlier, it just needs to be a good ball, which I loved my version 2 basketballs.
These are the version 2 basketballs.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna look into that, bro. I'm gonna be seeing you soon on this. I'm gonna
That's
see
great,
an
that's
Enzo
great.
Cuts order.
Yeah, so I just want to ask you a couple would you rather questions before we wrap up this podcast. So the first one, and this goes for everybody, it's not just for Troy, so everybody gets to answer. Would you rather be in jail for 5 years or in a coma for 10?
Jail for 5.
Yeah, I think jail for 5.
Same. Jail for 5 years.
Yeah, coma for 10 years, that's fucking rough. I just saw this movie recently on Netflix where like she's a cheerleader and she gets thrown up right in high school and she falls. And then she's in a coma for like 20 years and she wakes up at 37.
Fuck.
Damn.
And then like she's still like in her high school mentality, right? So her whole thing is like, let me finish like my last few months of high school because that's all she had left. She just had like prom left and graduation.
She never got to go. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's literally what she had. And it's funny because it's that one British actress that's like a comedian.
Rebel Wilson.
Yes,
Yeah.
the one that
What's
comes
the
out
name of
in-
this movie?
Huh?
What's the name?
I gotta look it up, but it was
I was
pretty
watching
funny.
chick flicks now by himself.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
No, I watched it with
bro?
my sister, bro. Fuck out of here.
Two single people. Okay, it makes
It's
sense.
all
Now I'm
good.
like, what?
Exactly. No. But it's funny because like, you know how when you hover over something on Netflix, it gives you like a preview of what the movie is. That's what I was seeing, and she was like tripping out on all these things because she was like a senior in high school in like the year 2000.
Oh, bro.
So it's
I need to watch this with my girl tonight.
That movie was
Yeah.
hilarious.
That's a
like,
good movie to go watch with your girl. Like, hey, babe, I got a movie for us tonight.
Yeah,
she'll love you for that.
It's not even like a rom-com, but it's just a comedy chick flick that a guy can enjoy, especially watching it with the chick. So that's one thing. So okay, so that's good to know that everybody wants
5
to go to
years, bro.
jail for
Yeah.
5 years.
Hey, but
You
I ain't
know?
dropping the soap. I'm just kidding. You feel me? That's what you got to
That
worry
was my
about.
hesitation.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't- you're
It's
like,
like for that
shit,
reason,
5
I don't
years.
wanna
But I
go.
was like, fucking man, 5 years. Coma? Damn, bro.
I think this one is a good question for all of us. Would you rather have Beyonce's talent or Jay-Z's business acumen?
Jay-Z's business acumen. Because a lot of people are talented, but they don't make it. So
Yeah.
But
Who's
Beyonce
this?
fucking made it.
that's Beyonce. That's what I'm saying.
But
Who-
you're getting
lightning-
Beyonce's talent. my
Lightning
guy.
striking twice is hard.
Hey, it's happened before though.
But
What do you think? What about
business-
you, Troy?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as much as Jay-Z has talent too, but I think I'd take Beyonce's talent. I think performing in front of 100,000 people would just be the biggest high of all time. It would be so cool.
I'm with you on
I
that
can't-
one.
Yeah.
I'm with you on
I
that one.
can't-
What about you, Byron?
I can
I
relate
think I would
to
go
that.
with the Jay-Z.
The
Business
Jay-Z?
oriented.
Okay.
But I like that, and I didn't think about it like that.
Right,
Joe.
we needed till you said it, yeah.
Okay,
That
now
has me
now
thinking.
this is another question that's just it's kind of a funny one to me. Would you rather sing along to every song you hear for the rest of your life or dance to it?
I'd rather dance to it.
All right, sing along, because
But it's like
I
every
butcher
song you
songs.
hear.
I butcher songs.
Yeah, I
I
think
put
I think
words-
sing.
I put words in songs that they don't even exist. I'm like, shit, don't sing
Yeah,
any
you do
louder.
you.
don't sing any louder. They're gonna hear
Yeah.
you. That you don't know the song. I was at a J Cole concert, like, shut up, Enzo. But the music was loud, so shit.
You can do it.
What, you got another one for me, bro?
I'm
Come
trying
on.
to see if there's a good one that I have. There's not a would you rather you guys can have came up with it all?
Shit. Would you rather go?
Oh, this is a good
Would
one.
you rather grow a beard or go bald? You know how some people can't grow beards, and then some people are balding. Or would you rather grow a beard or keep your hair on top? Matter of fact,
All right, keep my hair on top.
Yeah,
any
keep my
day.
hair.
me too.
I want to
Same.
full set of hair.
Same.
But you got a beard over there, buddy.
But I'd rather keep my hair
But
as I get older.
seriously,
If I had the choice.
because some people it just transitions from the head to like the beard.
But
that's
then
all
what
they-
about the goat aspect? A lot of goats were bald.
I mean,
True.
Michael
look
Jordan.
at LeBron. He's fighting
LeBron's
it.
going bald. Kobe was bald.
All right, for sure.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Would you rather see Kobe one more time or see an MJ Bird game?
Ooh, like a Magic Bird.
Yeah.
Damn, I had
yeah.
the chance to see Kobe one more time, so I would go.
Yeah, I think I'd take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Same.
one.
Same.
Okay, so this is one I give you since you're a basketball fan and a tennis fan. Would you rather go see like a big like tournament when it comes to tennis, like the U.S. Open, let's say, or like Wimbledon, or like front row at an NBA Finals game?
I think I'd take an NBA Finals game, front
Yeah.
row. Yeah.
So you like basketball more than tennis, you'd say?
Yeah, I think I like watching basketball better than I like. I love watching
It's
tennis.
definitely more
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah.
But I feel like finals in tennis is entertaining too.
Yeah. the
Like watching
finals are
sets and
good.
shit like that. Like I got into it mainly like maybe when Roger Federer and what's that other guy's name was going
Novak
at it?
Djokovic.
Yeah, when they were
Yeah.
going at it, and like it was just because like I would watch CBS Sports, and then they would talk about these guys going after it. So then like the next thing I would watch an Open, I'm like, oh shit, these guys are actually. And then I remember also watching a segment where they were trying to ban the girls from moaning. Remember that?
Yeah, there
Yeah,
was a
when Maria
moment that-
Sharapova would,
Yeah, she
would
was
like
a-
intentionally wait till the ball gets to the other girl's side and like then scream. Yeah.
That was it. That was interesting. So
Yeah.
I was like, why is she? What? She's hot too. So I was like,
That's true.
she was crazy. But
Yeah.
I think NBA Finals, bro.
NBA Finals.
Yeah.
I mean, I will kind of switch it up for you, but like, I
Who
don't
would
know.
you say for me then? Because you give me a good one there. Come
All right, either that or like front row at a New Orleans Saints game, so type of thing for
on.
both
Oh,
you
nah,
guys.
okay, I'm going to NBA Finals for
Yeah.
sure. You
NBA
said
Finals.
the UFC.
Okay,
I'd be
Super
like,
Bowl maybe.
Nah,
New
hell
Orleans
nah.
Saints.
Still not.
Nah.
I'm more of a. If you
NBA
was like
fan.
UFC and NBA, I'd be like, that's a hard one to pick. UFC, I
true.
like imagine you were in front row and you saw Tony Ferguson get kicked in the face like that.
Damn,
Dog,
that
his
is-
face is like a monkey app, like the apes that they making right now.
The
like,
NFTs.
Yeah, bro. Like
Those bored apes.
ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what his
Yeah.
face looked
Oh
like,
my
bro.
gosh.
Like, bro, what? Like that's. I want to be like Joe Rogan, like, oh shit.
Yeah, I
holding
feel
the
you.
people back,
I
like
feel
that would
you
be
guys.
sick. Holding
I
you
feel
guys
you.
back at the podcast, at the front row, like Dana White, make it happen. Or I'ma
right?
cancel
Straight
you.
up. Okay, so this is my last one. Would you rather kind of? I've always butchered this one, but it has to do with you going back in time and having the knowledge you have now, or kind of just heading to the future or seeing the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd go back in time.
You go back in time over knowing what's gonna happen in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Knowing what I know now, I'm going back to 14. Whew.
Damn,
Right.
man, you. I know you would make EcoSports in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. I'd be a sick tennis player and I would make EcoSports. Well, EcoSports back then, I don't know how well it would have done, but would have been
Just-
prepared for it.
I think you could probably be like one of those like Mark Zuckerberg when he made like Facebook so young
Mhm.
and like
Yeah.
because I feel like young people get this passion like just when did this EcoSports idea come to like
Year and a half ago.
imagine
Yeah.
it would have came at 2021.
Yeah, yeah.
You see the drive that would have
Yeah.
been different. Like I feel like for sure. Imagine if you would have done that at 14.
Yeah.
I
would've been
think
fun.
personally, man, I mean, you could think otherwise, but in my opinion, I think it would have been like, because, like, it's just like you could have been like the first on Instagram.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
nobody, because like recently I seen this kid that's like 14 and he's a jeweler. I was like, bro, who the hell thinks about being a jeweler at 14?
Straight
And
up.
recently, I just been seeing him walking around giving all these like, you know what's crazy? He actually followed me back on Instagram, and he's got like 14K followers.
So let's get him on the podcast.
And I'm
Yeah.
trying to do that. I'm trying to do that, but he's in Chicago, so I was tripping
We can do a
out.
remote podcast. That's okay.
I was tripping out that he actually hit the follow back, but I was impressed by his like the people he was selling jewelry to, and I'm like, dog, 15, and at 13 he had the idea to make a business out of it. Like he was in the jewelry store learning, and then at 13 his dad incorporated a little business for him. So now he was like an apprentice under somebody, but he had his own business to then sell to other. It was just wild. I was like, damn, kid. Shout out to that kid in Chicago.
Yeah, and then I've heard ones of that version where it's like you get to go back to when you're like 10, 15, but you just get to go back. You don't get the knowledge of like now. So you just get to kind of do things over again. And it's kind of
A
like,
do over?
yeah. And then it's like, do you really want to do over? I don't know. I've thought about that when it comes to high school sometimes, and I'm like, it's cool the way it was. It is what it is.
I would just change a few things.
Few things, but it's
Yeah.
like, they're ripple effects, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Damn, but who? Do you guys really believe in ripple effects like that?
I believe the butterfly effect is real
Yeah.
too.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I think it's true. Like
I need
you,
to rewatch it again.
like
but I don't know.
you fuck up a butterfly, it messes up the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole theory.
That's the whole
behind
drift
that.
behind it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But just to kind of wrap it up, where do you see EcoSports and yourself a year down the road and like 5 years down the road?
Yeah, I'd say a year. Hopefully, after we raise some money, we're gonna just start getting into retail and just start scaling. Is kind of just the biggest thing. Is right now we're doing 500 balls a month. I think we'd like to get that to 5,000. 10x. But I just think we get into one sporting goods and we're there.
Like that
right there.
Grant Cardone theory.
So,
I like that.
yeah.
10X it.
Yeah. So I'd love to be able to do that on my Shopify account, but
Mhm.
that's gonna be a grind. But
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of vegan outlets that I can start also getting in front of as well too.
Definitely.
But yeah, in 5 years, I'd like to be right there competing with the Wilsons and the Nikes. And when you walk by a ball, you have a choice, and I'm one of those options.
That's great.
Sick, bro.
Yeah.
That's very inspiring and motivating, bro. Because it's just different. You know what I'm saying? And it's dope to see you do that. I commend you, and I wish you the best on that journey, bro. That hopefully that desire is accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a hell of a feat if you're next to those, like, you know what I mean? Like Wilson, that's a last name, and then
Yeah.
EcoSports is coming. They
Yeah.
coming.
And just what was your major when you were in college?
I studied communications.
Mm.
So it was kind of broad. I mean, it was really just like the theory of communication more than like marketing or, radio
yeah.
communications. So I've always been kind of an entrepreneur and wanted to work for myself and always wanted to have my own brand. And once kind of I found veganism, it was turned into a huge passion and thought, how can I do something impactful? Like to me, EcoSports is more than just a ball. Like it's help saving the planet.
Facts.
Definitely,
Yeah.
Nah, definitely you are, bro. Saving animals and everything, man. Like, it's impressive to be honest. 29 and be doing that.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell yeah.
sheesh.
Another
Right.
quick question before
Yeah,
we close
go
out,
Yeah.
Trey. I know it's mostly based on sports, right? So have you ever thought about like maybe branching out? You know how you said you want to get into retail? Have you ever thought about branching out into like when it comes to like fashion, you know how they use like leather belts? Like, have you ever thought about like branding into that or things similar to that?
Yeah, 100%. I've actually looked a little bit into, so like these shirts here, my EcoSports shirts, they're made out of recycled polyester.
Oh, dope.
So they're way more eco-friendly, but they still have like 5% spandex. So they're still an athletic dry fit shirt. And like,
Wow.
I love them.
Never
but
would have thought that. It's
yeah,
cool, it's
so
cool.
they're better. So I want to get into that. The problem is like, you have 6 different colors and 6 different sizes. So all of a sudden there's like 36 SKUs that you have to have, and it just gets a lot. So I would just need more manpower and money and time behind getting into. But like hemp or bamboo, these are the really cool materials you can use for clothing. that I'd love to do to like get rid of fast fashion. That is one of like the biggest climate disasters as well.
I heard
like,
about that, like
kind of-
H&M, Zara, all these companies that use
Yeah.
fast fashion. That,
Yeah, that like so much of it just goes like to waste, but also the quick materials that they're using and all like the bleaching and the dyes, like it's all
Right.
so bad for the environment. And so that would be something I'd certainly be interested. Horseback riding is like a big, the saddles, the boots, like all those people, like they claim to be such animal lovers and horse lovers, but then like they're wearing another farm animal.
That's true.
For
Yeah.
like,
That's true.
so that I think would be a cool one to get into. But even like boxing gloves use leather.
UFC
So
gloves, yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of different platforms I'd like to get into. Even shoes would be really cool. I've sampled a couple like biodegradable basketball shoes, and like they're okay, but
okay.
not
what
good
about
enough to
making
start
a,
selling.
what about have you seen that Nike has had issues with other brands making like a silhouette of their shoe that looks similar? Have you tried making Air Force One or Air Jordan One that's not an Air Jordan One, but that has the blueprint? Would you say of what one would look, but it's your materials?
Yeah.
If you do, hit me up. I'm ordering.
Okay. Yeah. I'd look
Biodegradable.
into that. I'd like to, because designing, like it's being an entrepreneur is great, but it's very like there's so much business aspect of it that being creative and designing the shoes is like a really fun part of the job. So
Yeah,
I
it's
definitely
the
want to like
business
kind of
side
create
that-
my own shoe that would be
That'd be sick,
fun,
bro.
and kind of have a forest or a sea or some kind of eco like theme towards it. Would
Right.
be cool.
No, that'd be sick.
Yeah, definitely. But thank you very much, Troy, for joining us today on this podcast, man. It was very informative. I'm gonna have to make some personal life decisions going forward and start making so much. I'm just being honest, man, because the closer you get to 30 years old, and then just after that, you just gotta start looking out for yourself more and more. You're not invincible, guys. As young as you think you are, I'm 26. We're not invincible. Trust me.
Nope.
The clock is ticking. It's a countdown. It's not a count up. Everything's we're counting up on our years. It's really a countdown. I don't want to be dark, but it's just the truth. So it's important to take care of yourself. So thank you for informing us on EcoSports and everything and like that. And
Even like breaking down like the vegan stuff.
yeah,
That's dope, man. Like I learned something new. Like I said, I got a physical today, and now I got this information. So you might see a 2 day. I'll try 1 or 2 days out the week. Try a couple meals.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
a meal
so-
here and there. Start slow. It's
Right.
not gonna happen tomorrow.
Right. So, but I'm definitely trying to take that step, man. So I appreciate you being here, bro. And like I said, I wish you the best with EcoSports and with your girl too. Also, it was a pleasure, bro.
definitely.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night, gal.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to our episode. We appreciate your support. Remember to follow us on Instagram at The Current Pod, where you can share our episodes, review, interact with us, talk to us about what's going on. We appreciate your feedback and everything that you guys do for us and supporting us. Have a wonderful day.